Things have never looked worse for Donald Trump's Republican Party. The wheels are officially coming off, and honestly, it has been incredible to watch. After Marjorie Taylor Greene's unexpected resignation, more Republicans are now following her lead, so many, in fact, that Mike Johnson is reportedly facing threats to his speakership. Yes, multiple GOP members are considering resigning after the latest bombshell, and there is real talk that Mike Johnson may not even hold the gavel by 2026. We're going to break it all down. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy our channel. It truly helps support our work. Now, before diving into this resignation bombshell that has both Trump and Mike Johnson panicking, I want to start with one of the main reasons behind all of this. The polling Republicans keep seeing that makes it clear this is the beginning of the end.
Your costs are up versus a year ago. Groceries, 85%. Utilities, 78%. Healthcare, 67%. Housing, 66%. Gasoline, 54%. The bottom line is this. Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives, rising ever climber, and they just don't feel like, Kate Baldwin, that they can catch a break.
The Treasury Secretary in new comments kind of dismissed the impact tariffs is having on inflation, also saying that prices are going to be coming down in weeks. Some other prices are going to be coming down in months. What do Americans think about that?
Yeah, they think he's full of it. That's exactly what they think. I mean, just take a look here. Tariffs raising prices right now. I'm going to come over Kate's side of the screen, 71%.
How dare you?
How dare I do that? 84% of Democrats, 74% of independents, and even a majority of Republicans. When you can get a majority of Republicans to agree with majority of Democrats, you know that the pain is being felt by the American public right now. The Treasury Secretary can try and tell the people something, but they can feel in their pocketbooks. They simply put, don't buy what he and this administration is selling them when it comes to tariffs.
You know, and Harry, one thing we've heard over and over again is the president and many of those around him blaming the Biden administration for where inflation is right now. Do people agree with that?
No. No. You know what? I want to quote Judge Judy, but I'm not going to. I'm merely going to try and say it's like they're trying to sell ice up at the North Pole when it comes to this. More responsible for the current economy. 62% of Americans say it's Donald Trump. Just 32% say it's Joe Biden. Look, Donald Trump did, in fact, inherit an economy from Joe Biden, but now we are nearly a year into the Donald Trump administration. If the Trump administration is trying to push the book over there, they simply put, the American folks aren't buying it. They say at this point it is Donald Trump's economy, and what is happening in terms of inflation is his responsibility.
That's what happens when you become president.
Who knew? You know what?
You inherit the economy.
That's exactly right. If you want the power, you get the power. But with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, Harry Anton and the quotes. Thank you so much, my dear. John.
Donald Trump ran a presidential campaign full of promises about affordability, lowering grocery costs, making rent cheaper, and reducing energy bills. But instead of delivering on day one, he did the exact opposite, imposing tariffs, implementing disastrous economic policies, and handing out massive tax cuts to the wealthiest in history. The result is that people quickly realize Trump broke his promises, and in the worst way. It's no surprise that polling is disastrous. Trump's voters are understandably frustrated when his surrogates go out and lie, pretending everything is fine, when in reality, millions of Americans are struggling to put food on the table. It's not just consumers who are suffering. Farmers have been hit particularly hard, unable to grow and sell crops to sustain themselves. That makes it all the more absurd, though sadly predictable, that Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins went on TV today and offered a weak excuse about the state of soybean sales, or lack thereof.
And tell me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that you said in the White House, it said that China was going to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans from the United States by January. We're now just about a month and a half away from that. They have, according to the USDA report, only made two big purchases, and they total in total 332,000 metric tons. How how is that pledge, if that is a real pledge, and China has not confirmed that pledge, going to be made in that quick a time?
Andrew, thank you. We're actually about 1.5 million metric tons, but your point is still salient, right? That 1.5 million of 12 million, we've got a significant way to go. I know they are inking the deal this week or next week. Again, every sign is their commitment remains true, that they will indeed buy or purchase 12 million metric tons or put the order in. It doesn't mean we'll move 12 million metric tons by the end of December, but it means that those orders will come in according to their commitment and their promise to our president and to Secretary Bessent and to Ambassador Greer. So again, we have every indication that those will continue to move. Even if the purchase order comes in before the end of December, those will move early next year.
Yeah, Brooke. I don't know if math is your thing, but 1.5 million, the number that you don't have, is not as big as 12 million. Those are very different numbers, and I don't think that we're going to get there in the next, I guess it's a couple of weeks. I don't think we're really going to move 11 million soybeans. So, yeah, Donald Trump, once again, has screwed over our farmers. And it's difficult for me sometimes to feel bad for those farmers who have been caught in videos like praying to God together, hoping that things get better because it's Donald Trump's fault and you voted for him overwhelmingly. But of course, we got to message that. We got to win the midterms on that message. And it looks like we might even be winning the midterms before the midterms happen, because the resignations are rolling in following Marjorie Taylor Greene. So much so that Mike Johnson, according to some Republican insiders, might be losing his gavel before we even have an election. Furious House Republican warns more explosive resignations are coming after Marjorie Taylor Greene. A senior House Republican is warning that Marjorie Taylor Greene's sudden decision to walk away from Congress is only the start of deeper implosion inside the GOP. Greene, 51, will retire in 42 days, announced the end of her tenure Friday night with a sweeping indictment of Donald Trump's second term in the party supposedly tasked with backing him. Her central argument is that Trump and House Republicans are abandoning the president's priorities, growing complacent, and barreling towards wasting a razor-thin majority. Several GOP lawmakers told reporters that they are also weighing midterm retirements. And another clearly frustrated senior Republican delivered a blistering assessment of the president's trajectory. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. All Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted to let it happen. They told Punchbowl that is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. Lawmakers said he blasted what he called the arrogance of this White House team, accusing them of running members roughshod and threatened while denying them even little wins, like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. He warned that anger is spreading beyond the usual suspects. Not even the high-profile, the regular rank and file, random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. The lawmaker then dropped the real grenade, adding more explosive early resignations are coming. Early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out. Johnson's team counters that they are working with the impossibly small margins and doing the best they can. But the math is unforgiving. If Republicans lose even one more member to retirement, death, or illness, the majority could flip as early as 2026. What once sounded far-fetched now seems increasingly plausible. What once seemed far-fetched is now looking increasingly possible. Right now, there's a special election happening in Tennessee, creating opportunities for Democrats to pick up seats. Mike Johnson is scrambling. Can you imagine that? The midterms haven't even arrived, and he's already at risk of losing the majority. Just think what Democrats could do in the months leading up to the midterms with control, not just of the House, but of committee chairmanships and the gavel. Imagine the subpoenas the Oversight Committee could issue. Imagine what Robert Garcia could uncover about the Epstein scandal as the midterms approach. The impact on Republicans would be devastating. And Republicans in Congress are acknowledging it. At least one more resignation could happen, and perhaps more. If it looks like Mike Johnson is going to lose the gavel, why stay? Their numbers would be depleted, leaving Democrats free to hold this administration accountable. Bring in Pete Hegseth, Pam Bandy, Kash Patel, everyone. Put them under oath. Expose their crimes and cover-ups. Get answers about Donald Trump's possible involvement in Jeffrey Epstein's death in 2019. Why not? This is the reality that Mike Johnson, his Republican colleagues, and Donald Trump are facing. More lawmakers threatening to quit. Losing the speakership before the midterms, what a spectacular collapse. The worst presidency, the worst Congress, topped with just the right touch of karma. It's almost irresistible to watch. 1 resignation, 2, 3. We'll take them all. This is the collapse of the Republican Party in real time. It's sweet. It's satisfying. And we are going to enjoy it. We'll keep exposing it and highlighting its hypocrisy, because that's how we win. That's exactly why Jasmine Crockett has been calling out the MAGA hypocrisy right here.
I will be honest with you and tell you that when it came down to the election, there were a lot of people who really believed that the Republicans and the president were all about getting the bad guys out. People truly believed your words, but your actions are not matching up, because I've got the receipts showing that they are not matching up. And so call us a little paranoid in believing that the hypocrisy may continue to come from across the aisle. Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything and it was Joe Biden's fault. And why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about. They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people. And I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat. And we have the money because somehow our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD wasn't sitting on, under the couch cushion, he was able to find 40. How much did he find to send to Argentina? 40, there we go. 40 billion to send to Argentina. But those emergency funds, he couldn't find them emergency funds so that Americans could eat. So listen, if y'all are gonna be honest and talk about Epstein right now, let's be honest about everything that is causing y'all to lose real bad. Did y'all see the election results on November 4th? It didn't go very well. So let's just start having honest conversations so that hopefully some of y'all in some of these tight seats, maybe y'all can get reelected and we can just work together.
We will keep calling out these fools every single day on the show. To support this work, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you made it to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.